in Tennessee, where we do have a lot of bureau chiefs. People in Tennessee are complaining about the Jack Daniels facilities covering everything in what's called whiskey fungus. This is when ethanol vapors come out of the barrel houses and they kind of aerosolize, and then it lands on everything that isn't covered. That Jack Daniels whiskey out there in Lincoln County, Tennessee, it's where it's aged, it's where it's stored, and people who live in this area are fed up because they said all of their foliage, everything's covered with whiskey fungus. It'll cover entire pieces of shrubbery and trees.
It's not like Jack Daniels
strangle the...
just started making whiskey yesterday.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how does this not happen all the time?
Yeah.
I mean, you go through Tennessee. You know, my brother-in-law got married years ago. We went to Pigeon Forge. And, I mean, any part of the country where, in Tennessee, every 10 feet, there's a place making their own whiskey. They have like trailers on the side of the road. Come on in for a whiskey tasting. And, of course, you go in there and you stumble back out. So the ethanol evaporates in the whiskey-making process. And they said anything that doesn't move is covered in black fungus. One guy said he spent thousands of dollars.
Well, now we know why they're mad about it.
Because it's black fungus. Spent thousands of dollars trying to clean the fungus from his property. Maybe they're new to town. I mean, you think that anybody living near the Jack Daniels warehouse would be well aware of. And again, this is one of those things where, you live in this place, you probably work for Jack Daniels. You just got to kind of put up with it. And these companies, anything that's going to cost them extra money, they go, well, do you have a plan to, filter out? Yeah, we'll figure it out. Anything that's going to cost money, they're not going to do. So now these people are trying to order.
Until they have to.
Trying to ask for an injunction for, a new facilities construction to be stopped or whatever. That ain't going to happen. Jack Daniels got a lot of money.
Jack Daniels runs that town.
When I moved here 30 years ago, Gary Willer said I washed my house once a year. Now I wash my house 4 to 5 times a year. I just washed it 2 months ago and it needs it again. I can't live like this anymore, is what the guy said. So that would imply that it's gotten worse over the last 30 years. Well, I guess so. They say that the ethanol vapor doesn't cause physical harm to people, but if this is what's landing on trees, I mean...
Doesn't look good.
Right, but I mean, anybody who's ever lived near a distillery, there's...
People are in East Palestine yeah.
Hello!
You don't really got problems down there with your whiskey fungus, all right? Calm down.
Is whiskey fungus making your husband sound like Mickey Mouse? Because that's what's happening with my husband. So, I don't know what the nearest distillery is in Northeast Ohio where anybody might be subject to fungi of that nature. But, it would suck if you came out and your house has got, soot on it on your car or whatever. Of course, people in Louisville, Kentucky have that same problem because, they've got a lot of distilleries there too. But anyway, long story short, Whiskey Fungus is a great name. If you're starting out a band, let's say you wanted to submit something for our new metal show here at MMS, which premieres this Saturday night at 10 o'clock. It's called 2 Hours to Midnight. And if you're a fan of metal, you'll love it.
Excited for the premiere.
Excited.
Listen, I got nothing going on Saturday.
It was supposed to start last Saturday, but there was a Cavs game. And so I'm sure that'll happen occasionally, too, during the summer. We might get preempted by a Guardians game, Lake Guardians game or something. But for the most part...
Maybe a Cavs playoff game.
Hey!
We'll see.
Listen, if we have to be preempted for anything, I guess it's okay if it's a Cavs playoff game. I think 2 hours of heavy metal on a Saturday night is more important. It brings more money into the community.
Yeah, sure.
But what are you going to do? I did get a letter from, who did I get a letter from? Greg, who's our bureau chief in Collinsville, Illinois. That's part of the St. Louis metropolitan area. He's like, you guys were talking about, basically he was saying, no matter how bad the Browns are, the city needs to bend over and grab ankle to keep them.
Well, they're
because
going to, yeah.
He was talking about when the Rams left St. Louis. And people would pay, 1% of their income to the city of St. Louis. And Greg's like, that doesn't mean much to me. All the teams pay 1% too to the city of St. Louis. So if a team moves, the city loses out on millions of dollars. He's like, the area around the dome has gone to crap since the Rams left. Of course, the Rams relocated back to Los Angeles. But I think the Rams I was on in St. Louis for a number of years, but I think the Rams were already gone by then, or they were in process of leaving or something.
I think they were still there when you were on.
Were they?
St. Louis, yeah. It was just.
Weren't they the Cleveland Rams initially?
Yeah, I think they were the Cleveland Rams, and then they went to St. Louis, and then did they go Cleveland to L.A. to St. Louis back to L.A.?
Cleveland Rams in 1936. They won the 1945 NFL championship game. I guess that's a precursor to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So we do have a Super Bowl under our belt.
Well,
the 1945. The Browns.
The Browns won several NFL championships, but then when it became the Super Bowl, then they won one of those.
The St. Louis Rams. I forget how long they were in St. Louis. They were there for 20 years. So they left in 2015. Oh, yeah. So I was still on in St. Louis when they left and went back to Los Angeles. Hey, Mike. Hello.
Hello, Alan.
Hello. What's going on?
I was calling in with a fun plane puking story for you.
Hey, fun plane puking story.
No!
This is my favorite kind.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. Long story short, I was taking a red-eye from San Francisco back to Cleveland. I had a job interview for the day. And the only thing I ate all day was I went to In-N-Out Burger. So first time at In-N-Out Burger, it was okay, whatever, not anything great. Driving back to SFO, by the time I get there, like my stomach's rumbling a little bit, but I'm like, oh, it's probably just because I just ate. I go through security. I'm at the gate, and I'm like not feeling well. I'm like pale. I'm sweating. Go to the bathroom. Nothing's going on, right? But I just don't feel well at all. So the plane's boarding, and I'm like, I got to make a judgment call. Am I going on this flight or not, or am I staying in San Francisco? So I'm like, screw it. I'll go on the flight. I just want to get home. So I sit down in my seat. Within 5 minutes of sitting in my seat, I had to get up, and I'm like begging the stewardess. I'm like, I got to use the bathroom. Go in there. I puke up all of my In-N-Out burger. I'm in there for a good 10 minutes. Things are just coming out, and then I get done, and I'm like, oh, I feel great, right? So I get out. Stewardess is like, oh, do you want a ginger ale? She's like, are you feeling better? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, In-N-Out burger was terrible. So I'm sitting in my seat, sipping on a ginger ale. Flight takes off, and I pass out. Next thing you know, I wake up. I'm in my seat, and there's people in the aisles. Everyone's just staring at me, and I'm so confused, right? I'm just like in a daze. And basically, there's vomit in front of my seat. There's vomit all over me, and everyone is just shocked, right? They're just staring at me. There's people coming in. You hear the PA is there a doctor on board, kind of a thing. And the flight attendants are like, are you okay? Do we got to turn this flight around? And I'm like, no, get me back to Cleveland, So yeah, that was it. Basically, I got food poisoning from In-N-Out Burger. Spent the entire red-eye flight from San Francisco back to Cleveland, vomiting in a garbage bag. And luckily, there was actually a nurse on the flight who sat next to me and was just cold compressing my neck and my forehead the entire time.
You sleep puked.
Yeah. Shout out to the nurses, man. They are so underpaid and so underappreciated.
Yeah, I projectile vomited all over the place in my sleep. So
did they? Great flight. And that didn't wake you up?
No, they literally woke me up. I was I was out, dude. I truly was. I've never felt worse in my entire life. So funny story is I actually had a connecting flight in O'Hare. So by the time I was getting off at the O'Hare flight, there was an entire hazmat team waiting on the on the
tarmac. Yeah.
You're that guy.
Yeah, right there by the little terminal thing, and I'm literally covered in vomit. So I was so embarrassed. I had my carry-on bag I just held in front of me, and then I ran to a bathroom, tried to change, and then had to sprint to my next flight under the whatever that gate, or how in O'Hare you have to go under the tunnel.
Yes.
So I'm literally sprinting under the tunnel, holding my bag, sweating profusely, getting my flight to Cleveland. And the entire time I'm on that flight, I'm just gripping both sides of the armrest, like just telling myself not to vomit.
No.
So yeah, for the entire day, I was literally 24 hours of just vomiting. And then by the time I got home, the best part is diarrhea kicked in.
Yeah.
So it was just diarrhea all day.
It was in and out, and then mostly out.
It's in and out burger. It's not in and staying in.
Did you have too much? Was it a double-double? What did you eat?
It was the double-double and the fries, yeah.
That's it. There's too much double-double sauce on there. Oh, God.
Yeah, double-double and double out. So,
Did you get any, I would imagine, so you didn't get down the road any kind of like cleaning bill from the airline or anything like, hey, you puked all over the little screen on the seat in front of you or anything like that?
Shockingly, no. And I am a frequent flyer, so they didn't like ding me for anything. I did get the nurse's contact information. I ended up sending her like, a gift card and flowers.
Oh, that's nice.
She was old. But she did take care of me, and I felt bad. But no, it was absolutely like I was telling people after I landed, like I have broken bones or whatever. I would rather break a leg or an arm rather than go through that again because the nausea was so bad that it was just the absolute worst feeling I've ever been through. Just absolutely awful.
I remember it wasn't food poisoning, but Erica coming back from the first time that we went to Dublin.
Yeah.
And she was so unbelievably hungover that it was just like she could barely stay vertical and, the double-double. Oh, Mike, but you live to tell the tale and you'll never eat In-N-Out Burger again.
Never. Honestly, it's overrated. I don't understand the attraction to it. It's like a McDonald's burger. It's just very overrated.
I will agree with that. I'm more of a fat burger man myself, but
it's because they're not over here. Like I don't like a Jack in the Box. A Jack in the Box tastes just like Wendy's, but because they're not here, I was compelled to try it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate your candor, and I guess he's lucky that the diarrhea held off as long as it did, because it would have been as bad as that was.
Puker. Diarrhea puker, that's
on a plane.
Yeah, that's not
You
good.
think that you're projectile vomiting in your sleep. Imagine it's also filling your seat. And then those poor people on that flight. Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Alan, how's it going?
How are you, man?
Good, thanks. My wife, who's a nurse practitioner, and I were on a flight to Florida with our kids, and the flight attendant comes on and says, we need medical assistance in the back of the plane. Anybody who's a nurse or doctor, please come right away. And my wife goes back there, spends 20, 40 minutes back there, comes back and tells me that the woman in the back of the plane had puked all over herself.
Mm-hmm.
And she was back there with a woman who was a family practitioner. The woman that puked all over herself spoke Spanish. My wife didn't. Family practitioner did. Come to find out that she hadn't taken all her blood pressure medicine and was having reaction to that. And my wife was able to talk to the pilot and say, she's stable. We can land in the final destination and not have to divert as an emergency.
And so it wasn't, she was like I don't know, she wasn't transporting anything she shouldn't have been transporting, I guess. So your wife saved this woman.
My wife and this woman, the other one was a doctor. My wife's a nurse practitioner who worked in an emergency room for years and medical intensive care unit. Who was able to assess the situation quickly and get the pilot to agree to fly to the final destination.
Yeah.
So
was there did she receive a round of applause, Jeff?
No, it was kind of on the down low. She didn't want anything to do with it. It's like what she does. There was another situation that happened too long ago that you got to get involved to help somebody out.
Right. All right. Well, good. All right.
Kudos to the medical staff.
That's what Poundcake says. Okay. Thank you, Jeff.
Yep. Thanks. Have a good one.
There you go. You too. Alan, that's called hitting the bathroom animal style. Yes, it is.
Very good.
That's right.
Speaking of animal style, Warren was great.
Warren, Ohio.
Warren was great.
You were there on Friday night.
I was there on Friday. We sold it out. It was so much fun.
Did you meet a woman in the Comfort Inn, Best Western, bar?
No, I brought my girlfriend with me. She ended up not having to work, so I took her with me, and then I also took Julia Mary, who was opening, and my other friend Heather, who was filming it. So all 4 of us in my car, and during the show, they're all friends with each other. Like, they have some drinks, and then they, get a little rowdy. I'm doing an hour-long set, and then, taking pictures and selling posters and CDs after the show. So by the time I'm ready to go, I'm exhausted, and they're all lit. And they don't care because I'm driving. So we get in the car, and I'm driving these 3 drunk idiots home, and they put on like a Power Hour playlist, so it's like a different song every minute. Mm-hmm. They're all singing along and screaming at each other,
call
each other a bitch. Yeah. They're all girls, and they're
calling each other a bitch.
Oh, they're talking so much trash to each other. The one girl, Heather, so she went to film school, and she'll film some of my sets for me when she's available. And she has this iPad that hooks up to one of her cameras, and she was just kind of had it out. And for whatever reason, like the texting app, the iMessage app opened up, and it just started auto texting everything that was being screened by these 3 in the car. And it was just the most inane text you've ever seen, like just madness. And Julia kept calling it, she's like, put your leapfrog away.
Leapfrog. Like what really little funny. Kids are on.
Yeah. And
touchpad.
So, they're all getting into it with each other, and like in a fun way. They're having a blast, and I'm just, it's raining, so it's not the best driving conditions, and I'm just like, whatever, I'm going to let them have fun. I'm just kind of
But you want to get home. You want to unload everybody.
Yeah. And we get back to Cleveland, and my girlfriend's like, that was the fastest ride ever. And I'm like, I have never had a longer drive in my entire life, you idiots.
Right.
But
quick for them. They have no concept of time.
Yeah, because they were all
long for you,
partying and singing. And I'm just like, oh, boy, I can just pull over off this bridge and save everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I've realized that the way I used to drink is no more. Like, I break the seal immediately.
What do you mean? You pee right away?
Yeah. Like the moment I have
Tell us all about it.
The moment I finish like a White Claw, I'm like, oh, gotta pee, and then I'm peeing for the rest of the night. If every drink I have to pee at least once. And it's
maybe you're not hydrating properly throughout the day.
Yeah.
Is that where that comes from?
Kind of. I mean, if people who drink a lot of water, I mean, I drink a lot of water. I don't go to the bathroom every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't drink that often, but I've noticed times when I do, I'm like, damn, why I gotta pee so much? So that's literally what
maybe you should just get like one of those bladders that you put in the inside of your pants, and so that way you don't have to be when you're going to go out for a night of drinking.
I'm just gonna pee.
Yeah,
you don't have to go to the bathroom.
That's a power move.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. And you look like a hero, if anybody's paying attention, until the end of the night when you have huge inflated pants.
Sitting there flirting with the bartender, and he's just like, wow, dude, this dude's a stallion. He's been downing beers all night and hasn't even moved from that chair.
Look at this guy.
Look at that bulge, too.
He's just dangling.
Yeah. Looks like he's wearing jodhpurs, like he's racing in the Kentucky Derby the next day.
I was grazing his leg, and it just feels so
Those
warm.
are the pants like that point out on the sides.
Yeah. They flare out. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you to everybody that came out to see me in Warren. Now get tickets to see me at the Funny Stop March 31st and April 1st.
How far is Cuyahoga Falls from Warren?
It's probably 50 to
Oh, it's that far.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah, Warren's like above Youngstown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's far.
I've got to take a break. If you want to send a text, 35192. To do that, I will have Scream 6 passes for you later on. That's going to drop in theaters soon. And I'll hook you up to get to that Kill Switch Engage show a little bit later on, too. So we'll take a break. Be back after these.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7